Many student comes that I have a bond only for with few people, not with everybody. I'm sorry if I have too many questions, but I just would love to learn more than I can go and apply it in my classroom, especially online classroom.
It is such an important question, and I think that it's a really good one to raise. I think with everybody because I agree with you. Like it is so, like we were talking about in our group right now, and then we'll come back. Was something that came up is how do you create a connection with students to kind of get to know about them if you're in an online or virtual setting,
Setting.
and I think that uh, yeah, the answer is they're lacking, right? Like the ones that come to my mind immediately, I even feel it too. I feel like it lacks in kind of robustness. When I'm in the classroom and I'm able to see a student's body language and kind of walk with them down the hallway and reach all of them, with my conversations, I know that I'm letting them all know that kind of I'm getting to know who they are individually through conversations I overhear, but online I don't have that. And I can chat with them individually, or I can meet a few, like you were saying, Ferdy, but some come to office hours, but how do you get all of them?
You have to be
And
graded, but I
is
struggle.
we're going to go on to talk about Carino, but maybe we'll come back and we'll cycle back around to this if we get a chance, because I'm very curious
Please.
right now.
Okay. Okay.
I
Thank
don't know.
you.
What do you think? Should we?
Actually, I'm gonna
Can we
my presentation has a lot of things that I think will answer about putting Carino in the classroom. So I think we'll definitely cycle back to it.
perfect. So
And I'm
we're going to
excited to
come
share
back
it with you.
around to that.
Yeah.
So Carino, what did we get? Let's throw in some things into the chat about Carino, because our conversation ended up being this really wonderful one about how do we interact with students. Oh, empathy, present, okay. Being mindful, checking in on students, nice. The idea of respect. Connecting with students where you're speaking to my heart right there, connecting with students where they are. It's the thing I have the hardest time with because sometimes I don't have this live the same lived experiences as my students, and so connecting with them where they are is it's an effort, right? It takes a lot of effort. Helping them get the tools that they need to succeed, understanding, nice and flexible. You are our masters at Carino. This is really wonderful to read all of this and take a few notes to add into my notebook here. Creating a safe space. Oh yeah, of course. We've been through this. Community, togetherness. Just your presence, right? Jenny, that's really nice, just letting them know you're there. So thank you so much for sharing these ideas. And as we go through today, maybe we'll be adding to the list, or maybe we'll just be solidifying those ideas that we have and figuring out ways to apply them. And I think that's kind of what we're looking to do here. We take this idea of Carino that exists inside of our minds and maybe a motivation that we have, and how do we implement that? How do we express that? How do we get it into our classrooms so that we can make our student experience better? Um, I'm really excited. I'm going to turn over now because we've done the welcome. Hopefully you've got a little bit of warmed up. And I'm going to turn things over to the wonderful Yasmin, who's going to talk a little bit about the Pasos journal.
Yeah, so I'm, those of you who have attended in the past, we had a recording of students reading some of their work from our journal. And so our journal is about to be released next week, and I don't have a recording of a student reading for you. I hope to in the future. But I wanted to share a piece from the journal that it's actually one of my students, but please know I did not pick her piece. It was 4 different faculty who voted. And I love Anastasia's story because she was my student last semester. She's taking another class with me this semester, and now she's working as a tutor at the Writing Center. And so just, and it was just me checking on her. And I'm not saying I did everything, but it's the little bit of care that we each take. And I know that she was also in Minerva Lavaega's class, was also part of Pasos, and Minerva remembered Anastasia immediately. And there's just this connection that she had with Minerva, and now she has one with me. And that connection really just sort of helps. And now she's working at the college, which I find amazing. So I'm going to share her poem with you. And all the artwork in the journal is done by students. So this is actually a dual credit student who made the cover. Everything in there, the artwork, the writing is all done by our BASA students. And I put a link in the chat. We will be doing a release next Friday with the Writing Center and Papagayo. So we're all collaborating, and we're going to have student readers. I will also be reading, and we're going to have some community readers like Grace Munoz. Minerva is going to be reading as well. And so I hope you will go to the link and register. It's a virtual event. And just make sure you register before, because Eventbrite will cut you off. And it's from 3 to 5 p.m. next Friday. But I want to read this work by Anastasia, and I think this just sort of illuminates what our students are going through and some of the things that they're thinking about. So this is titled Thinking in Spanish. My Spanish accent is a mezcla of all the places I've been. Un tin de cubano, poquito boricua, pero que mexicano, ni que mexicano. My Spanish tends to be all over the place. My life has been lived all over the place. If my face could be covered by the words I speak, the lines around my smile would be a map of my life. My Spanish is going to the panaderia, buying 2 loaves of pan sobao, porque ay bendito, one is gone como si nada. My Spanish is asking for help at the store, and the workers assume you'll understand Spanish, which I do. It only matters that you understand. Y no hay bronca si no hablas para atrás. My Spanish is not able to hide that I'm a Yuma when I walk down the street. No matter how many times I say que bola, hacer, pero poco a poco I'm becoming cubana. My brain thinks opposite, starts to translate from Spanish to English, even though English is my first language. Spanish is my favorite. I speak English at home, but I think in Spanish and feel at home. My voice is like the ocean, fluidly moving from one language to the other. My confidence in speaking Spanish ebbs and flows. The tides roll in and the accent is strong. Then the tide falls back and each word is too long. My Spanish is quiet now. I hardly speak it at all. Mostly in my head while English is spoken out loud. But I think if all my world is inside my head, the revolú of Spanish accent makes me proud, and my Spanish is who I am, perfectly at home. So that's her poem. And I just think it's so beautiful. There were so many beautiful pieces in the journal to share, but I picked that one just also for time. And I think it really highlights how a lot of our students think in different languages, they communicate in different ways. And there's this fluidity that they're going back and forth. And I think her metaphor of the ocean, of the ebbs and flows, just works so well. And I wanted to make sure to share that with you. And I hope that you'll join us at the journal release next week. And once the link is live, please share it with your students, use it in your classrooms. I think it's so amazing to show other students what students have already done. And that sort of feeds more creativity. I think once people go back and forth, creativity just grows and grows and grows.